Hunter Cook, Jonathan Rodriguez, TJ McAloon, best of the best, TexasHighSchoolFootball.com. I'm Kyle Spiechak, and we are at the Gridiron. Hunter, where have you been?
I have been hibernating. I went into the woods and made myself a little fort. Killed squirrels for sustenance.
Is this what happens when Texas Tech loses? You just freak out and go in the forest?
Every single time. I go on a vision quest, actually.
Yeah.
Every single time.
So does this mean you'll be on the Revenant 2, The Return of Mama Bear?
Essentially, yeah. Except for I will be the bear at that point. I'm just gonna grow my beard out so thick to where it covers my entire body.
And that's where the spirit animal travels come in. I got you.
Yeah.
This Saturday's game of the week is Leaf Taylor versus Dickinson. What are some takeaways from this match, Jonathan? Go ahead.
Dickinson has some very stout athletes. Even though Leaf Taylor comes in with the respectable 9-1 record, for some reason, I think the athletic ability of Dickinson is going to come out on top, especially now that, you start out in July. You said you're playing now to go December and well into December. And I think the athleticism of Dickinson is going to be able to be the proponent into helping this Dickinson team beat a Leaf Taylor.
I'm actually going to go with the Leaf Taylor here. Like, they're a very, very good football team as well. And like Dickinson, they're very athletic. And don't get me wrong, I love Dickinson. This really is a third or fourth round matchup that's happening right off the bat. It's a treat for us, but it kind of sucks for the kids who someone's going to have their season end. Someone's going to have to go home a loser from this one.
Like they said, it's a very clear-cut matchup with two teams are coming into this game with just one loss on their season. But since the calendar flipped to October, Dickinson hasn't given up more than a touchdown in any of their 6 contests, with giving up 6 and 7 points in 4 of the 6, and scoring over 50 points twice in that time. So I appreciate every single week would look at the point differentials, and with Dickinson, it's a 335.4 to a 97 point against. It's kind of hard to pick against this team from not winning this first game.
Besides this Saturday's game of the week, what first-round matchup are you all looking forward to the most? Hunter.
I'm going to steal all of y'all's, and I will take Euless Trinity. I think Allen is very good, but Euless Trinity is talented. While I don't necessarily think Euless Trinity is going to win, I think a lot of people are looking at this Trinity team like, oh, they just kind of scraped by into the playoffs, when this is a talented team that can really do some damage if you're not paying attention to them all the time.
Lake Travis, man, looking at their side of the bracket, it's going to be, if there isn't a cupcake walk to a final, I don't know what would it be with their side of the bracket, but it just takes one bad game and the next thing you know, you're bounced out. So I'm very interested to see how this club can stay focused with lesser talent.
So kind of going along the lines of TJ, I'm actually working on an Allen and Euless Trinity preview and getting the credentials together. And of course, Hunter just wants to come in like the bear on the Revenant 2 and just ruin everything for me.
Hey, he asked me.
He did. Fair enough.
I have another one that we can talk about a little bit if you want to take this one too.
No, it's fine. I'll go ahead and just go along with everything you said about Euless Trinity and Allen. But I got to give some love to one of my hometown schools in Fort Worth South Hills against Richland coming up.
That was the one I was going to say. That's a good.
Are you all bonding right now? Come on, let's keep talking.
Synergy.
All right, so I got to give love to Fort Worth South Hills because they have been notoriously bad since I've grown up in the area. I'm 24, so I'm still relatively young these days.
You're young, boy.
But that being said, before the current head coach JJ Resendez came in, South Hills was 1-17 for the longest time, and most of the time that district was ran by Fort Worth Arlington Heights. Now, for the first time in their history, South Hills has gone 10-0 and their first city district title, even with the help of one of the Wallace brothers. I can't recall if it's Thailand or Trayson, but those two were a dynamic duo for South Hills the past 3 years. And now that they're in the playoffs, they're going up against a Richland team who just had a big game. I believe it was against, it was Colleyville Heritage, and that game was in the District 8-5A for the title. And granted, Richland might have lost to Colleyville Heritage, who is a great team, by the way. This matchup between Richland and Fort Worth South Hills is going to be one of the best matchups in the first round of playoffs. And let me also add on that, forgive me, South Hills, because I released an article last week on the top 10 5A teams that could finish the season undefeated, and I did not include South Hills whatsoever. So my apologies, but South Hills and Richmond is a great first-round matchup to see.
Allen, I see DeSoto, and I see Lake Travis as teams that are clear cut, and the rest of it is just the shrugging guy emoticon. Just I don't think it's going to happen. Like we're gonna see some teams that are insanely talented play some teams that are undefeated in like the first or second rounds.
I think we lost TJ.
We lost TJ.
Yeah, it was too hot for TJ to handle right now. Oh, he's back. He must have heard it.
Oh, now I want to guess. He had to excuse himself.
Right now.
We didn't even get to hot tweets yet, you know?
No, 6A is crazy though.
Yeah.
Let's just roll with this. Okay, he's back.
Yeah. He's back.
You know, I got another game action. I was going to bring this one up here before I just got shut down here. Cedar Hill Midway, 6A
Yes.
Division 2. First round matchup between two teams. There are two top 30 Texas teams, two top 10 in their section. What's going to happen there between two teams that have both scored over, 449 for Cedar Hill and 330 and 359 for Midway. Two teams also ranging in the 250s for defense points allowed as well. 6-0 district versus 6-1 in district, 8-2 both overall. That's a very impressive first round matchup over Division 2.
The thing with Cedar Hill is they have so much talent at their skill positions. You can't look at guys like Avery Davis and Charleston Rambo and say, oh no, they just don't have talent. They're awful. They have some skill. It's in the trenches that they just don't seem to play very unified. And on the counter to them, Waco Midway is one of those teams who has made their living off of playing unified football and playing aggressive football and playing well in the trenches, playing together. So that's going to be insanely good as well.
So no one cares about Reagan Westlake? Am I the only one that cares about that game?
Yeah. You are.
All right.
Basically, I just want to say, like, those area matchups, they're kind of hard to compete for just because you're not used to playing these district and area teams.
That's the big part of it, because that was a huge theme in DeSoto Midland, was how far DeSoto had to travel to get out to Midland and how unused they are to those 3-hour, 2-hour bus rides. If that game, the team, I think they're that is a very good team and they can go fairly far in the playoffs. But if Midland has to travel to DeSoto for that game is not close.
So, to close off the show, as I tweeted, our writers come up with the most scalding takes about the football world and pop culture. TJ, go ahead.
Everyone wants to bury Charlie Strong and the UTP Longhorns. I tweeted out, you gotta give this guy some time, just because you can't take the soup off the stove until it's done simmering. But Charlie Strong here, every time we think that his team is done and you guys want to fire him, bring in the next hot coach and the next hot girl or whatever, he comes back to win another game. Players have put on coaches in the past, but no one has put on Coach Strong here. And they should let him stay not only this season, but the next year and the next year into that. Let him finish out his contract, which that takes him to 2019 to 2020. So let the man continue his job and let the man coach and put these stupid rumors.
A&M quarterback Trevor Knight to begin acting career as he tries to take Katy Perry from Orlando Bloom. I mean, now that Texas A&M is out of the playoffs, look at this. Who really cares what Trevor Knight does with his career from here on out? And I'm not sure if he has another year of eligibility left, but I think he's better off trying to lure Katy Perry into his arms now.
Charlie Weiss and Bleacher Report have conspired to destroy Notre Dame. I'm in full support. Full support. Notre Dame being 3-6, it makes Texas Tech's awful season just a little bit brighter.